Hey, what's up everyone? I wanted to do an update on a few things. Got my heater controller hooked up. I got some fish in the tank right now. They're pretty much just starter fish. I got my stability, so I've been putting the stability in and trying to cycle this tank. It's pretty cloudy right now. The glass is actually, oh, you can't really see it, but it's got a lot of stuff on it. I'm not sure if you could see it. It's cloudy. I put my switch up there. Right now I only have 3 things connected to it because I have to grab short extension cords to put the rest of the stuff onto it. Eventually I'm going to get around to ordering them, but till then it's going to stay just like that for now. I ended up having to put hooks on here. I was getting some air bubbles. I wasn't sure why, so I redid the hoses and no more air bubbles. It's perfect. Pretty happy with the way everything's turning out. I started a 29-gallon tank. It's gonna make it a quarantine tank, but kind of just threw some sand and stuff in there too, I guess. Put some old power heads that I had in there, a heater, and this fish I bought from Pet Supplies Plus. He was in a tank with Mbuna and he was getting pretty beat up, so I figured I'd bring him home and try to quarantine him and get him back to health. They weren't sure what he was. I'm trying to get a better view of him here. Maybe somebody could help me out with an ID on him. Paid $3 for him. They weren't even sure what he was, so they just gave me him for $3. There he is. I don't know if that, there he is. And here I put a hang-on filter that I made. What I did is, you can kind of see it here. Move this light out of the way. Filled it with some filter floss and some filter pad. That long hose and the pump that I put in there, it came off of this tank over here. It's a smaller tank that I have. I had this for saltwater. It was just a 10-gallon Innovative Marine. I used it as a quarantine tank when I had the saltwater fish. And here's another tank I'm going to use for quarantine eventually, or sick tank, pretty much whatever. My dad dropped it off to me and told me to use it, so that's what I'm going to do. I have the bio balls, the Marine Pure inside there too. Not sure if I said that already, but it's a 29-gallon tank, $1 per gallon. I just went to the dollar store and I got this paper, just posted on the back of it. Right now I have wires everywhere, but that's going to get straightened out as soon as this one is freed up. After I ordered the short extension cords, I will use that behind this tank. Hopefully not electrocute myself between now and then or start my house on fire. Yeah, I was hoping to get better views of him. He kind of likes hiding right here, but yeah, I think I'm pissing him off. The other thing I wanted to ask is, this area has no windows, so I have this air filter, and it's not like a bad smell coming from these tanks, but I could smell the fish tanks, and I'm thinking that maybe it's from the stability. and I turn that on, and I still get the smell from the tank unless I open this window up right here, which is pretty far away from the setup. So I was gonna ask, what do you guys do as far as trying to air out your fish rooms? I know when I had my saltwater setups, it really wasn't bad. The smell lasted for maybe a month when it was cycling. After that, I did a huge water change, added some carbon, and it all went back to normal. So I'm hoping it's the same for freshwater. I mean, I would imagine it is. Shouldn't be much of a difference, hopefully. I added some fish in here. I was gonna do a fishless cycle, but I figured with the stability, I watched Jay Wilson's video, and he stated that you can jumpstart your fish tank with stability, and there's other options and different things you can do too, but I figured I'd use the stability for, I think it's been about a week now that I've been using it, and I have the fish in here for a few days now, so everything seems to be doing okay. Was worried. I think I did lose a fish right here. Let me move this out of the way. Right here in between the glass and this section of the background, there's a little gap. It's like a slight gap, and you can't really see it. Well, you guys have an idea of what I'm talking about now, I guess, but I think I lost a fish inside of there, and he went up into the filter. Pretty upset about that, I guess, because if I can lose a smaller fish, you know, what's going to happen if I have fry in this tank, or I don't know. Hopefully it'll work out. Pretty sure it will. Just maybe get a little bit bigger fish. These fish are all doing fine though, but there's a smaller white one in here somewhere, unless he went up there it is. Yep. So he seems to be doing fine. He can squeeze right through there if he wanted to, and he hasn't yet. He was smaller than the other fish. Yeah, this fish really likes this corner. Trying to figure out what I should do with these. Well, that one's going to be quarantined, and this one, I'm not sure yet. I might take the fish once that tank is cycled out of the tank and maybe put them in this for now, but I do know these pink fish get pretty big, so I'm definitely going to get rid of these eventually, maybe just give them away. They get up to 12 inches, and that's a little big for a 29-gallon tank and a 10-gallon tank, so eventually I'm gonna have to take that filter out of the 29-gallon once I get one ordered and get it here. That pump, and get it back in the 10-gallon. Been a pretty slow process, I guess. Not only just a cycle, but trying to accumulate different things and buy different things. Like I said in my first video, I mean, it's an expensive hobby. I mean, it can be as expensive as you want it to be. You could do DIY projects and make things, but you're only going to be able to make so many things and save so much money by making them. So right now my true hobby is electronics. Built a home theater, so that's where I watch everybody's videos. So yeah, that's my update. Hopefully I can get fish ordered soon enough. Thanks.